Wherever you are, it's time to activate the senses as we bring you the words as they come across the world, as we bring you the Nifty Travel Podcast.
So we are one of the few matrilineal societies in the world. So as a matriarchal culture, it means that the women, they have the ownership of the land and they have the power to elect the chiefs. And so elderly women in every village, in every state in Palau are like traditional chiefs, and in their own right, the leaders who then elect the male chiefs who meet to make decisions for clans. Clans are essentially like groups of families, and these chiefs and the women leaders, they help make decisions about things like, you know, food for the community, for war, for times of like funerals, for times of birth. And so that was our traditional culture, and it is still practiced today. Especially, you know, even now we do have a democratic form of government, but we still respect the traditional form of leadership. So every state has this kind of customary traditional chief titles and the women who elect the chiefs.
And there's also a insidious, bad reason why people in India like to get educated is because if I am an engineer and my wife or partner, she has whatever degree she has, her parents have to give my parents money, dowry, you know, just to get her married off. That's why people don't like having daughters. And it gets really bad where as soon as the parents find out through an ultrasonic scan that the fetus is female, they abort.
I like the word. I have a love-hate relationship with the term hidden gem, to be honest with you. I think that there's some really positive value in looking for lesser known or maybe underrated places versus super populated or really overrun with tourists or like, let's say, a very tourist heavy area. However, I think that also hidden gems can have a slightly negative implication to it as well, right? And I think so. When I use the term hidden gem, I like to use it as a term that people can kind of quickly recognize and understand, right? It's something that's not super known. It's maybe known only by locals, and it's an opportunity for tourists to explore something that might be not necessarily on their general itinerary.
How important is that in terms of what you're trying to deliver?
It's everything. It's the most difficult thing to build, because in the digital world, that trust means being transparent about what you do, what you don't do. It's very difficult to say no when you're building something. You feel like you need to be chasing your customers. You need all of those people and bookings. But I think it's more trustworthy to be upfront and say, this is not for you. And I respect your position. I respect what you're trying to do, your budget or your needs or your preferences. But it's important to redirect people to something that fits them. And I think that's more honest, again, more trustworthy. Collecting testimonies in different ways, not because reviews, again, everybody collects reviews. And people already, they read the reviews, but they're already starting to get tired of 5-star reviews because they all seem the same. And every time I get an original review, something spoken from the heart, that's why I screenshot it, because this feels genuine. It cannot be faked. It cannot be written by AI to put on my website because I feel like it. But also some videos, personal brand is becoming more important. That's why, even though Instagram is not always comfortable, it's good to have video archives, video presence, and your storytelling presence. So you have to create a circle of trust, a few things in place, because just one part of it, just the reviews or just your license or just all of these things have to come together. And it's the most delicate thing, because one thing missing can lose your trust without.
And the thing is, they'll do what looks, and it does look, basic itineraries look pretty good, but there are usually errors that if you're not an expert, you don't know that they're an error. because they will. There's the famous hallucinations of the AIs, and and I would say the same. I'll just leave you with here's a story from over a year ago. There was and a client told me this story. I think it was a very trustworthy client who's an attorney in New York, and he told me, he said, there was this guy, this other attorney who went to court, and he did his preparation with one of the AIs, one of the LLMs, maybe ChatGPT, and then he had a great presentation of his argument and the laws, and then the judge realized that there was a couple of laws that were cited that didn't exist, that had been invented by the AI hallucination. So he threw him out of court, and he almost lost his license.
And my backyard at that time was the Mississippi River. I could literally walk out the back door, go over the levee, and the river was right there. So getting see the big oil ships come in, the big tankers come in, especially that far inland, was something I had not beheld before. It was absolutely amazing when they would come in and create a wake. Some of the locals would surf on that wake as those ships would come rolling in. And it was a big wake, 10 to 12 feet sometimes. The other thing is I learned not to swim in the Mississippi because it has sharks.
Wow.
Yes. There was a fisherman that about a half a mile down from us. I'd see him out there every morning, and he was shark fishing. And he would get 4 or 5 foot long sharks. I don't remember what kind of shark it was, but there were sharks in that area in the fresh water. So learn not to swim very quickly in that.
So there you have it. Please do like and subscribe now to see the full recordings now. Enjoy.